Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of my small budget business for creatives, my fireside chat. And in this episode, I want to just talk very quickly about something that a lot of people don't realize. And I think it's important enough that it should be addressed. So if you're a small business owner like myself and you are obviously out in the world already, you have social media accounts, you may have one or more, you also have a website, you may or may not have that, or you have a blog, you have some other source besides the social media platforms that are typical. For example, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, any other platforms out there. And what I have noticed is that a lot of people think that the social media platforms are crucial to growing their business. And in fact, they feel that social media is the main hub for them. So in this episode, I kind of want to address that. My take on that is not necessarily true. And I'll tell you why. In my opinion, it is very, very important for you to have your own website. Okay, what I mean by that is you need to have a www.johndoe.com website, or however you want to put it. You need to have a hub of your own where you are putting all of your information and making it accessible to your potential clients. Please do not depend just on social media platforms to be your mainstay. Social media platforms are supplements. They're supplements to your website. They're supplements to your brand. They're supplements to your business, however you want to put it. And the reason I say that is because social media platforms are not your own. Yes, I understand. We all get to go in there, create a free account for the most part, and put our projects out there, put our business out there, put our work out there and share it with the world, and hopefully gain followers, gain likes and impressions, and have people coming to us and getting to know us and building those relationships with us. That is all true. However, social media platforms are not your own. They are simply there as a supplement to allow you a place where you can go and share your work and gain a following, build trust with people, build a brand, build your presence. But your main hub needs to be your own. It needs to be your own website where you have all of your information available to the public. So think of it this way. It's the difference between renting a car versus owning your own, or renting an apartment versus owning your own home. An apartment is your home as well. A house is your home as well. However, there's a big difference if you're renting versus owning. If you own the house, it's your own, and you can pretty much, for the most part, do whatever you want with it, unless of course you're in a zoning area where you have homeowners associations and whatnot, and you still have to go and follow certain rules and regulations. But if you own a home, fee simple, yes, this is the real estate background kicking in, but if you own a home, fee simple, you're pretty much open to doing whatever you want with your house. That means if you want to change the shutters in your, exterior shutters of your home on the windows, you can do that. If you want to paint your house a different color, magenta, you can certainly do that. If you want to, extend it another level, you can do that. Versus rental home, which you cannot do anything unless you have exclusive permission from your landlord. So that being the difference. The other thing, of course, and actually the more crucial thing is that if you don't own the house and you're renting it from someone, then that person, that landlord, has the ability to take that apartment away from you at any point. Yes, I realize there are leasing agreements, there are contracts, and of course, it doesn't mean that they can do whatever they want. They do have to stick to the contract. But you still are in a position where you may have a situation where there's a conflict that can happen, and it may take you down that whole line of, going into the court or proving your case or whatever the case may be to win your battle in that situation. It's a huge difference versus you owning your own home, which you can pretty much do whatever you want with it. Unless if the government steps in, and then that's a whole different episode. But my point simply is this. A social media platform is like a rental house or a rental apartment. It is not your own. Even though you're getting a free account and they say it's your account and you get to control whatever. But let's face it, we already know there's really only a limited amount of control you have on your social media accounts. You have to follow the rules and regulations, and that can change based on whatever that particular social media platform's policy is, which changes all the time. So if you posted a picture of a flower today, it's acceptable today on Instagram, but it may not be acceptable tomorrow on the same Instagram. And you have to go based on whatever their policy is. You cannot go in there and argue with them and have discussions and debates about, well, this flower is a rose and it's beautiful, and so you allowed it yesterday, so you should allow it today. I suppose you could do that if you have that much time. I'd rather spend that time creating my artwork or doing something productive with my business. Having said that, why am I making this video or audio? I'm making this just to kind of alert all of you creative small business owners. You guys, we work very, very hard to build our business. Any one of you can totally relate to this. You're out there creating your art, whatever it is, whether it's writing, whether it's music, whether it's paintings, whatever, it's all art as far as I'm concerned. You're creating your art, you're putting in the time, you're clocking in the hours, and let's face it, guys, we're not sitting there working 9 to 5. We're working there 24 hours a day. I mean, if you're sleeping, you're dreaming, and you're dreaming about your art. So you're putting in the hours, you're doing the work, you're producing things, you're then going out there and sharing this with the world in hopes that it will bring some pleasure and joy or happiness to someone, or make them reminisce, or maybe it'll be nostalgic. Whatever the reason or the cause or the emotion you have behind creating your art, that's what you're doing. You're sharing it with the world. Then you're spending hordes of time doing that. Then there's another aspect of your business where you have to maybe go and do some shows. Maybe you have to go meet some people. You have meetings that you need to attend. You need to give presentations. You need to make YouTube videos, whatever the case may be. You're putting in a lot of time and effort into building your brand, into building your business. This is not a game. This is really, it's not a hobby. It's not playtime. Yes, we love what we do. There's no doubt about it. That's why we do this. But at the end of the day, it is a lot of work. We are working hard day and night. Some of us are up 4 o'clock in the morning making videos or writing up an article or putting that last bit of glaze on our portrait. Whatever the case may be, we're putting a lot of time in. And let's face it, a lot of times our work is not appreciated, not just in the sense of aesthetics, but in terms of the revenue that we generate. We get into shows, we go into places where we're trying to sell our art, and you may run into people who are trying to haggle with you on the price and whatnot. You know, it's all part of what we do. It's all part of being who we are and doing the business that we do. So coming back to my main point of this video is that that's a lot of work to do to promote yourself, your work, your brand, what you're doing, for it to go to waste. What do I mean by that? Well, for example, if you're putting all of your efforts and energy into a social media platform, please understand that is not your own. You might be able to get a free account. You may have 1 million followers, and you may be sharing all of your artwork one day, and the next day, boom, it could be gone just like that. Because if that social media platform decides they don't want your stuff, they can remove you without any warning. Now, some of you may be skeptical and saying, oh, you know, Angelina, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, fine, that's fair enough. Maybe I don't. But based on my own experience, having talked to people, I've actually even seen some videos on YouTube of people who had, you know, 50,000 followers. They were doing great. They were 3 years into working on their craft, and they were thinking about, you know, quitting their day job and just making their business their main source of income, and worked hard, putting all that energy, time, investing whatever money they had, and sacrifices that their family made and they made, you know, time with them and doing other things just to get this thing going. And now they've reached a level where they have things that are growing, and all of a sudden, bam, you know, Instagram decides, hey, you can no longer have an account with us. So literally overnight, this one gentleman whose video I just watched the other day, he lost half of his business. Why? Because Instagram tagged his account with the information that he was putting out there as, you know, not something that they agree with. I won't get into that, but essentially he's a woodworking person. He does woodworking, and he creates these beautiful home decor type objects and carpentry and cabinetry and so on and so forth. And so he's literally just sharing videos of him doing this work, or photographs of his completed you know, samples, and Instagram decides that whatever he's posting is not meeting their rules and regulations. So bam, he wakes up in the morning after he's just had a good day posting his things on Instagram, and finds out his account is gone. And of course, he tried everything to reach out to them and talk to them and try to figure out what's happening. And it's completely, virtually impossible to reach anyone in the, I don't know if you've had that experience. I have, where there's no live person that you can talk to, that you can communicate, that you can explain or understand what's going on. So you're pretty much left to those, you know, okay, well, drop this question and answer thing, and, you know, is your question here, does this answer, does this help? You know, it doesn't help me, because I have a very specific question. Why did you suspend my account without any kind of notification whatsoever? But unfortunately, that's what it is. So I want to take this moment to encourage all of you that are actually doing this as a business, professionally. It's not a hobby for you. This is your livelihood. This is your lifeblood. Please, please, please make the time, put aside a little bit of money, whatever it is, and get your own website. Get your own website with your own domain name that is your own. And everything that you put in there is your main hub. That's where you send your potential customers, potential buyers, potential clients, so they can communicate with you through your website, whether it's through your email newsletter, whether it is through you just emailing them or calling them or doing video calls or whatever it is. But that needs to be your main hub, where you go in and have all of your work in there for people, so that they can see what you're doing, what you're up to, and they have a way to communicate with you and contact you should you be dropped like a hot potato from any of these social media platforms that you have accounts on, because it's just that crucial. And I don't think people realize that. I know a lot of people who just use Facebook, and I don't mean to keep picking on Instagram, but, you know, there are a lot of people who just think this is it. This is all I need. This is, you know, I've got 500,000 followers, what do I care? But you do need to have your main hub. You need to have that house that you own. And I know maybe some of you will say that's a bad analogy because you don't really own the website either, but you do. Yes, you do. Definitely more so than if you had a, one of those free blog sites, or which even I've used. I've used Blogger initially to blog and whatnot, and that's fine. But just understand that any of these social media sites, whether you're blogging, whether you're just sharing pictures, images, whatever it is, these accounts are free for a reason. And even when you end up going into those professional accounts where you're paying, they still hold the authority to shut down your account if they want to. So please be aware of that, because oh my gosh, I would hate to see any of you guys in the same situation like this gentleman. It was so sad. It's so sad to see, the amount of time that this gentleman put in his business. And here he was right at the verge of just, 2023 was going to be his year. He was going to quit that job, that 9 to 5, and just go full-fledged, and bam, he's like, it's like half of it is gone. Now he has to go back and do what? Maybe not restart, but certainly he has to do a major haul of everything so that he can get back to where he was. Definitely must have put him back at least 6 months, maybe even a year. I don't know, because how many of those people that were dropped are actually going to find him again, or bother to come back again, or whatever. Hopefully he had a great relationship with most of them and they will find him. But it's just it's a tremendous amount of work. So I just wanted to create this video to warn you that if you are working professionally and you're creating art and you are trying to run a business, please make sure that you invest some time, energy, effort, and money, of course, in a website that is your main hub, and use all these social media platforms that you choose to use as supplements, because that's what they are. That's what they are. They're not the main source. They are just supplements. Build your relationships with your potential customers through your website, through work that you're doing directly with them as much as possible. So if you ever find yourself and I hope and pray to God you never do, but if you ever end up in a similar situation, at least you won't be at such a terrible loss. Really, really sad to see this. And I hope that everyone is having a great day and you guys are not struggling like this gentleman had to. But we all have up and down days. So I hope today is a great day, not a down day for you. And I hope that this warning video will help you, maybe alert you, maybe make you think. Because again, a lot of us don't know exactly, we're just so focused in on creating what we want to create that a lot of times these business related issues we don't really delve deeper into. We just, it's just what it is. I understand that. Been there, done that. So I just thought I would make this video to just kind of warn you. If you're already doing this, you already have a website going, you're good to go, awesome. Please share that with other artists, fellows, and friends that you have, who may not be aware of it. And if you're not doing it, then do consider what I said, because in the end, that's a lot of work you're putting into your business, and to have someone come in and just snatch that out of your hands after all that effort is just, oh my gosh, it's horrible. I hope none of you have gone through that. Anyway, I will stop now. I hope you have a fabulous day. Please leave me any comments if you have any questions, or if you just want to share your story, or let me know how you're doing, what's going on with you guys. Would love to see what you're up to. Would love to hear about it. I want to also take this time to thank all of the new subscribers. I've noticed an increase on my channel, and I really, really appreciate that. I appreciate your support. I appreciate the fact that you're taking the time to watch my videos. Some of you have been very kind and left some comments. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. It's very encouraging. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for your time. I'm very, very grateful for you. And I hope that I can provide you with some information that's useful or inspiration or insight that may help you in your business, in your work, and help you to continue to grow. Thank you for listening to this. And until next time, keep creating.